So today we met up in Mayfair in West London very early in the morning to disrupt the Africa Energy Summit, which is a conference about expanding oil exploration into African countries. A number of activists came and glued onto the side entrances to basically stop the delegates from entering this conference. They've been forced to come around and use the front entrance, where activists came and dropped a massive banner that reads "End Oil Colonialism." The activists also gained access to the hotel itself and blocked the entrance to the conference room that delegates are using to schmooze on these oil deals.
Yeah, I'm currently de-locked around my neck to a door handle. Yeah, it's quite a scary thing to do, obviously, but it just feels really, really important. The peoples of Africa have been the most exploited and abused in the world by the European colonial system, and it's ongoing.
Our main banner says "End Oil Colonialism," and what that is about is that we want these fossil fuel companies, and in fact governments that subsidize these fossil fuel companies, to stop doing so. Because what is this exploration and exploitation of fossil fuels in and across Africa about? It's about colonialism. We had colonialism centuries ago, where countries went in and, under the mighty power of the gun and also the cross in many cases, they colonized people, and took over their lands and their resources. And that is exactly what is happening with these companies. This is neocolonialism in its most egregious form. Most people in many countries of Africa will not benefit from the exploration or exploitation of their natural resources. Most of it, goes to the multinational corporations in the global north, and the little money that is made oftentimes goes to the elites in those countries. Africa is awash with sunlight. Africa is awash with the possibility of green renewable energy, and they're not investing in that, because it's not in their interest. Their interest is short-term gain, and that's at the expense of the long-term viability of many people in and across Africa, and of course the whole of the global south.
We want it now. When do we want climate justice? When do we want it now?
So they're paying all the price and getting none of the benefit, and that's why I think, in collaboration with activists on the ground across Africa, that's why we're here today, to stand up against the continued evil of neo-colonial extractivism.
The gala dinner for the delegates of the Africa Energy Summit are supposed to be having a meal here in about an hour's time, but we're hoping that that's not going to go ahead now that we're here. We are currently here acting in solidarity with Exat Africa. We're with activists in Africa and activists in the global south, because Africa contributes only 2% of global carbon emissions, and yet they are experiencing the worst of climate and ecological breakdown. They are experiencing droughts, famine, storms, heat waves, and I cannot be a bystander while this happens. I cannot sit back and watch conferences like this happen. I cannot sit back and watch, oil executives and heads of states meet and talk about how they're going to continue their murderous activities. So I don't want to be here today, but I am here today because I believe it is the right and the only thing I can do.
Justice for Africa! Justice for Africa!